Hello again and welcome to another Messin' with the MR25. Today what we're going to do is we're going to change out one of the electric motors or the brushless motors, and it's very easy to do. So let's get going with the conquering our heart part of this. So essentially all you're doing is you're removing 6 screws with your 2mm hex wrench. Again, the one that comes with the kit, or I have this handy dandy one. In any event, 2 of these bolts right here, that one, and then you flip it over and you remove those 4. So, and that's all there is to it. Once you do that, I've already done it for the sake of brevity, basically the LED cap comes off. The LED plate separates from basically a doubler. Set that aside, and if you needed to change this out, you do the same thing, obviously. You would just go inside and unhook it from there and remove it and then put in the new one, but we don't have to. In any event, in this case, we're going to go ahead and change out the left. Just pulls out just like that. Because these are directional, these motors are sold directionally, so it's ready to go. You connect, you just match the color to the color. If for some reason you wanted to run this in the opposite direction, you could just swap the wires just like you would any other and connect it with 2 of the wires swapped around. You know, maybe if you couldn't find a right motor and you needed one in a quick moment or something, you could swap it out that way and then just swap the wires around. But of course, then it wouldn't be self-tightening on the spinner. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so let's take and replace our left motor. It's very simple. Again, piece of cake. Matching color to color, and then it folds right up inside the arm. Pretty basic. Now, one of the things that Align did when they put these screws in, they used a very aggressive thread locker. I'm going to use thread locker blue. Do not use red and do not use green, or else you won't be able to get these things loose without applying heat and whatnot, so you don't want to do that. I'm not sure what they use, but it's really good. It's really nice and tight, so it takes a little bit of effort to get the screws out. Just make sure you don't strip them. Make sure you get using a good 2mm. The one that came with the kit is strong enough. But in any event, what I'm going to do is, now the purists would tell you need to clean these threads off really well and go through that effort, and yes, you really should, but I'm not going to. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the blue and I'm going to dab it just a tiny bit. Doesn't need a whole lot. Do not do this without adding locker. You're just asking for trouble. If you put screws on any type of rotary flying device like helicopters or these quads, these screws will loosen on you and you'll lose them in flight, and you don't want that. So in any event, let's start off. We'll go ahead and seat these first. Okay, finish up with just a couple of, again, we don't want to over tighten these, you know, these things. You can really strip this stuff out if you're not careful. Just anyway, so there you have it. All we have to do now is put the prop back on. I'm going to go ahead and put the spinner on just so I'm remembering to do it. There you have it, all ready to go. So at this point you would test it, make sure it's all good. And in fact, you might want to test it before you put the wires back in. You could do that, you know, as it's still out. Give it a, you know, fire it up, make sure it works, and put it back in. But it just so happens I know this one works. So ready to go, and time to put the props on and go fly.